Yeah, thank God we
What's up,
saved that
people?
person.
It's me and Paul here. What's good? What's good? What's good? All right, I'm ready. What's good, people? It's me and Paul here, kicking it, and we're doing something a little different. We're doing something a little different. We're trying something out. Reviewing some theatrical releases. On my end, when I'm doing this, when I'm recording this, I know it's mostly gonna be horror, but I'll try to dip my toe into other things, which will be over on Popcorn and Pints. And I know Mr. McManhattan will be a part of this as well as Paul. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. And we're kicking it off with Night Swim. Yeah. We're kicking it off with Night Swim. It came out what's today's day, Paul? It is
The
it
one
came
question.
out I mean, technically it came out, I guess you would say January 4th, the Thursday. I know they have the early release and pre-release, but technically January 4th, that Thursday night stuff. So I seen it Saturday. I know you might have seen it Thursday.
I did.
And what were your thoughts about it? Like before you went to go see it,
Mhm.
what were your thoughts on it? And I guess I'd have to ask you, are you a trailer watcher? I don't watch trailers.
I do not.
Okay, good, good, good. So just going based off of, I'll say the movie poster for one,
Mhm.
two, it being horror, I guess, and then three, because I did hear the trailer when I'm in theaters, like I wasn't gonna plug my
Right.
ears. I did not watch it. So I guess
Yeah.
just from hearing the sounds of it,
Mhm.
what were your expectations? And then did they, did they
Yeah.
meet? Did they get to like meet like,
Right.
hey, expectations? It's
Yep.
we meet. We meet.
Right.
How was that for you?
So my expectations I still set a little low. Just because a lot of times, even though it was an original thought, it seemed like it was an original idea as
Mhm.
far as the whole premise for the movie. I still set that bar at about a 4 or 5. Just because, it was kind of a lot of no-name actors, things like that. So I'm like, well, the studio didn't care enough to put like big names in there, so maybe they don't believe in it either.
Mm.
But I will say I gave it a higher rating than I initially thought, so it kind of exceeded my expectations. As
Ooh, really, really?
yes,
And for me, I try to go into movies, I guess I could say as far as expectations, it was the same,
mhm,
but it was still, like, I feel this movie for me started out good, and then just kinda went down, just went
oh,
downhill.
okay,
And kinda, like, plateaued. Like, it wasn't I won't say it was a terrible movie because it was not a terrible movie. It wasn't even a
right,
bad movie. Maybe okay, maybe better than okay,
mhm,
which we'll get into as we, dive in more to it, but I liked the thought of the unknown more so than we seen what we saw. Like, and what we saw was not bad, it didn't look stupid or anything, I just kinda wish the thought of the unknown would've really just bring that along more and have more of the thought of the unknown as far as what the thing looks like, not as far as, like, the whole being of it there or whatever. And, yeah, it just oh, man, I felt like once it got to maybe the middle-ish, it started to kinda rush itself 'cause it was building up nice. Like, it was building up nice. Like, I like how everyone went in there with the new family in the house, with the main family in the house, and they had different experiences in the pool, but it was
yes,
impacting experiences in the pool. Very impacting in very different ways, which I thought I liked that. I love that part of it.
mhm,
I just wish it was told a little bit better. And maybe, I know we did get a history later on, but I wish we got kind of like a deeper dive into that history.
yes,
And just something about the little girl. Like, that's kinda weird how that was just because that doesn't happen. As far as, like, if when a family dies in that house, 9
mhm,
times out of 10, you know about that. I know they try to cover it up and all that, but I feel like that's,
right,
like, basic questions you ask nowadays.
mhm,
Like, with
right,
older film with older film, with older movies and older stories, it seems like it's a surprise. But
mhm,
then again, you know what? Actually, you know what? No, 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 no. I take that back. And the reason why I take that back is myself personally, where I'm at now, where we're renting out, the house we're renting out now, I did not ask those questions, nor did I look into it. I just look and see if the
right,
neighborhood's good. If it's a good neighborhood, the area and all that, that's one
right,
thing. You know what I mean? But it's like
yep,
if it's other than that, you don't know. And people dying in a house isn't a crime.
right,
It happened.
yep,
So holy shit.
yep.
Wow. All right.
Ignorance is bliss.
I guess I take that back. I guess I take that back, but I still do feel like a part of me still does feel like when you're buying a home, when you're owning a home, you still because it's different than renting because it's like, oh shit, there's a
Yeah,
ghost here. I'm moving.
yeah,
Versus like, oh shit, there's a ghost here and I got a 30-year mortgage. Like, yo, look,
yep,
listen, if you're gonna be staying here making all this noise, you're gonna have to chip in on this mortgage because this is not cheap. Here for 30
right,
years. And maybe that's a good way to exercise demons and stuff. Like, listen, quiet down, chip in on the bills.
yeah,
stop playing with the lights when I'm trying to sleep.
Right. How about you
You
just
want
turn them off when I leave them on accident? Freak me out that way.
Yeah, stuff like that. You know what I mean? When I'm watching a
Yep.
horror movie, make a sound in the house. Do something like
Yeah.
that. Be useful. When I'm hosting an event, that's when you act up.
Yeah.
Don't hurt anybody, but other than that, like, just let's just chill. Let's stay out
It's
of each
good
other's way.
good party trick.
Yeah, but no, but going back to this, so I know, and another thing too is like with the pool, the in-ground pool, I feel like there would be questions, and the pool was empty, if I'm not mistaken, when they
Yes.
first got
Yeah.
it. And the lady, oh, as a matter of fact, because the lady was like, no one's used the family's a vineyard, but no one's used the pool in the past. What'd she say, decade or
Yeah,
something
something
like
like
that?
that.
And it's like, hold up, the whole reason why I'm buying a house like that and paying that kind of money for whatever they pay for that house is because of the damn pool.
Yep.
Is because of the damn pool, and
You're not wrong.
no.
Yeah.
No. But
Yeah.
what do you think on that though, man?
So I enjoyed are we kinda doing spoilers or no spoilers for this review? Because I just
No,
don't
we
wanna say too much.
we
Okay.
could we could
Um
do spoilers. Listen, people. This is a spoiler show. As a matter of fact, I'll put a warning, spoilers. So people,
yeah.
I'll just
I
put
just
huge
didn't want
spoiler. Just go across. Huge
there you
spoiler.
go.
Until
uh,
I'll edit it into spoiler show. But you go ahead.
um I really liked the pool guy. I liked how he was all about conspiracies and all that shit. And he's like, "Oh, you got a well pool and this and that." And all of a sudden, we got into reptilians and shit. I wish they had
Mhm.
fucking brought that dude back. I thought it would have made the story even better if he knew the folklore of that actual property and house. And I was waiting for that. So if I was disappointed in the ending of this movie, that was a big part because I was like, "Who are they gonna call? The crazy conspiracy guy that would have been like." Oh yeah, this used to be a wishing well back in the 1800s. Blah 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 blah. Oh my god, it's actually real. One of my conspiracies is right. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
So that part, I definitely was like, you guys kind of had something there, and you made him funny. That dude was funny as fuck. He tripped on himself. He was such a dickhead to his apprentice. That was a
Mhm.
good comic relief. And I will say, for the whole movie, I felt like they did have good timing on when they wanted you to feel intense and
Yeah.
laugh, and they did a good job about letting it flow evenly. Because I'll tell you what, when that bitch was cutting, sorry, when that woman was cutting the watermelon in the kitchen,
Oh, you're good. You can
ho-
swear.
holy shit, dude! I'm sitting, I'm like, where's the finger? She's gonna cut a finger, and then
Yo.
it zooms up. She's gonna get her finger. Then they pan out, come back, and I'm like, oh, here it is. Didn't
I
do it. And I
love
was like,
I
ah,
love that you said that, man. I love that you said that, and this is why I love watching movies with the wife because she's, like, really, I mean, she's Puerto Rican for one, so they're already,
mhm,
like, but
yeah,
she's, like, really intense with these type of movies and with horror especially, and with the
mhm.
knife, and she's just saying the same thing, "What is she? She's gonna cut herself. Oh my god, she's gonna cut her," and I'm just like, I'm waiting for it myself, and it doesn't happen. But
yeah,
it's not one of those things where it's like a disappointment doesn't happen. It's just like, "Oh, shit, it's so intense," but something else goes down.
yeah,
Something else is going on, which I do love that fact of it too.
yes,
And I'm jumping around, but I have, just because it just hit me, I have a bone to pick with the father and the mother.
okay,
Here's my issue. More so with the mom, and here's why. So remember how the dad was saying, like, before he got sick and got hurt, how he doesn't know if he could have chose his family over baseball, basically.
hmm
He flat out said that. And then I do love how, like, so this is how the pool affects him. He gets healthy. He gets stronger than he ever was because of this pool, because of, this demon in the pool.
yeah,
And, like, what the hell happens? It just hit me in my mind. He loves the pool. Like, he talks about swimming in this pool so much. Like, the way he talks about this pool is the way you would talk about your significant other in a sense, or your family. Like,
right,
"I need this pool. I love I can't wait to be in the pool later." I'm like, Whoa, let's come on, man." Like, it's just a pool. It's not,
right,
I'm not gonna say the word, but it's not that.
right,
And I did like that. I did like that of it, so I will
mhm,
give it some credit for that. But I just kinda wish that there was more. I wish it was kinda darker still with the dad.
yes, yeah,
Like, there should have been more signs as to how he is the way he, what I mean, the way he was. Like,
mhm,
remember when he, again, they're playing as a matter of fact, they're playing chicken, when they're
yeah,
playing chicken in the pool, and he's bringing the kid down
just
under
death
the water.
grips and right,
Yeah. There should have been more of that, not necessarily to that level, but just, like, little
yeah,
things building up to it, besides him just wanting to be in the pool, or him kind of wanting his old life back as far as, like, being in the limelight, like, when he went to his son's
mhm,
and kinda took over, and he smacks the ball at the park.
yeah,
After he falls and embarrasses himself, and he smacks the ball at the park, and just like, "Oh, man." And right then and there, I'm like, "Please don't turn this into a damn baseball movie."
Right. I don't want Field of Dreams. This is a horror.
'Cause
Come on.
I felt like it was going towards that a little bit. Yes, I can still see them tying the horror in it, but I felt like it was going that towards it a little bit, then
Yeah.
I'm just like, "Okay, alright, we're
Mhm.
okay now. We're okay now."
Yeah. They definitely lost 1 point for me, just because it didn't make sense, and maybe I missed something, but how when she was with her new, we'll say boyfriend, right? When she has her boyfriend over that night, her parents are gone, she's supposed to watch her brother.
Yeah,
So he says, when she comes back up and she's like, "Oh my god, I got dragged down, yada yada yada." He said, "Oh, we were only underwater a couple seconds." But
yeah.
they never once made it seem like only the family that's going through it is the only people that can see it happening. Because he picks it up on camera. Like you see it on the camera. So I was like,
Oh,
so
the
you're
son
saying,
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so how come other people can see it, but the boyfriend that was
May
right there didn't
Okay,
see it?
maybe the family can't, maybe only the family can see it because they all know about it, they were all in the pool, well, the boyfriend was in the pool, but he didn't get a chance to experience it, so maybe after you experience it, then you can see it. Because
Sucks. Yeah.
if you go back to the pool part, if you remember the pool party scene where
Mhm.
that happens to the kid, no one notices but the son that's recording from his room, which
Right.
sounds
That's
let's
insane.
talk about this let's talk about this part for a minute, because that
Pool
sounds
full of people.
way creepier than what it was. The kid, the boy that's in this film, the little brother, he's recording everybody out there swimming, not for reasons you're thinking.
No, no, no. He
He's
wants to
he's
catch the
doing
demon.
it because of the demons to see what's going on. He actually does it by him doing it to save someone's life. But it's like, yeah, you were saying a whole pool full of people, no one notices. But again, when you're all in there roughhousing, playing, and jumping around and stuff, you really don't pay attention to someone on someone's shoulders going underwater deeper because that's normal in a sense.
Right.
And you're not here, but you're not really hearing the kid yelling, "Hell, let me go, help." I don't
Yeah.
think he's yelling it enough until he starts going on. It's like, "Help, help!" And then
Yeah.
the
It's too
little
late.
boy
Right.
and all that. But that was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that kind of bothered. Okay, so here's the thing that bothered me about that. So after that scene goes down, because I
Mhm.
want to know who in the town knew about this besides the old lady.
Yeah.
The was she a realtor
Yeah. The realtor. Yep.
slash neighbor something?
Mhm.
Besides her and besides the previous owners, the Asian family.
Right.
My question is, who else knew about this? Because remember when this happens with the little boy, which I understand the parents had a right to be pissed off at the father for this
Mhm.
when he's holding the kid under, but did they know about the pool? Did they know about all that stuff that goes down with the pool? I'm
Right.
hope I'm then again I look at him like I'm assuming no because they went to the pool party, but then again everybody went to the pool party because they had to feed it. Well, you find out they had to feed the pool a soul once, was it like once a year,
Yeah.
once a year? Was it once a year? Was it once every so often or
I think it was like something like that. Like,
once
I
every
almost feel like
decade,
you
it
said,
was
yeah.
something.
I think it was
It was
once a
like maybe it was
decade.
once a decade because that's the last time the pool was used or
Yeah.
something, and it just
Yeah.
for whatever reason, it feeds the town, it just makes the town, like, the best town to live in, and
Right.
something like that, and it was weird with that because they didn't really, that's another thing, they didn't really dive into that too much, and I wish I would've dove into that
No.
more. It was a thing to where, and here's what bothered me about this movie, it's actually gonna drop my rating some more, is it had some
Damn.
cool ideas in it, and even with
Mhm.
the story, it had some cool ideas, but it was like it just left them out there loose. It never really tied them together, and it never really, like, grabbed and pulled towards one of them or any of them, because any of them they could've really, in a sense, they could've tied this together to where you have a bit of each story
Yeah.
and just make it one big story, and they
Mhm.
didn't do that. They could have even made it to where, I mean, they could tell this family story and do if they wanted, of course,
Mhm.
everybody does it, but tell this family story and then maybe do a prequel or a
Yeah.
sequel or whatever. They could
Yeah.
have, but they just kinda threw things together and didn't really give you, like, a nice deep dive, deep story as to just what you really wanted. They gave you,
Right.
like, teases of it. It was like a
Yeah.
bunch of teases of it.
Right. And the folklore, like you said, like I like the folklore was awesome. It was a different take on a wishing well.
Mhm.
I thought that was fucking awesome. They could have gone off the rails with it in an awesome way, but like you said, they're pretty much like, yeah, it was a wishing well back in the 1800s, whatever. That's it. And then they're like, yeah, it helps the city, and if they had to do this in order to keep I don't all the crops good and yada yada yada.
Mhm.
Okay, and that was it. There's no story of okay, so it's been going on since then, or how it turned into a house on a property. Like why'd they get rid of this? Anyway, like you said,
Ye
I do agree. Like y'all opened it up to this beautiful folklore and then just left it completely there, just sitting.
Yes. Yes, exactly, exactly. I mean, you got that, and then you have excuse me, sorry. You have that, like, with like you said, with the beautiful folklore, which you're just like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be so fun." But you're not filling in the gaps. You're not filling in the gaps, which is gonna, like, tie this together and make this such a fun, awesome story
Yeah.
to where I wanna scream to the top of my lungs, "Yo, run out and watch this in theaters.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to say that to you guys.
yeah, but she can't.
I really do, but I you know what? I oh
Yeah,
my god, I
I
really
agree
do.
with that. And I will say one thing, because I kind of want to watch it again just to see if I'm right. The pool guy hinted that there were other pools like this around the area, but he'd only seen a few. And he said he had been doing this since he could work. So in my mind, I almost thought he was a part of that whole ceremony of doing sacrifices. Because I'm like, well, if you're the main, the go-to pool guy, there are other pools like this in the area. So you're going to remember these, like, and you're a conspiracist. Why would you not notice certain families move in, then all of a sudden, oh, you're missing a kid or you're missing a dad or a mom, and then you move right out, oh, we got to empty the pool type shit. Like, I feel like a conspiracist would have picked that up. So for a little bit I was thinking he was in on the whole thing and was just like, thank God we're going to have another good year in this town, because here's the family and the kids don't go.
See, and another thing about the well, didn't if I'm not mistaken, didn't the realtor say something about like all these other ones were filled in or something like that, except for
Yeah,
this one,
right.
which was weird. And she
Hmm.
kind of made this face, which told you something went down there.
Yeah.
She made that face. The mother caught on, and that there was another part that bothered. That was another part that bothered me because usually when people see that face, they hear that, they question, okay, yes, I understand people ignore it, but they look into it like right away. Like that night, they're like, okay, that seems weird.
Right.
What the hell? What a pool well? First of all, I'm looking that shit up. I'm a pool well. What? Let me look this
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Let me figure this out first. Let me figure out, you know what I mean? Like let me
Right.
figure this out first before what?
Right.
But
Right.
that was
Yeah.
something that really kind of,
I'd have so many questions about that. And another thing, that family jumping in there, look, I don't care if they lived on the sun. I don't know if anyone's filled up a pool before. It takes like 2 months for it to get an okay temperature if you don't have a heater in there. And
yes,
well water at that, that's below the earth, you guys. It's gonna be freezing as shit. Like, you're not jumping in that shit. Like, if you hit me up in, we'll say, 2 months from now, so March or April, if you were like, hey, let's go up to, the mountains and go jump in a brook, I'd be like, you're fucking cracked. Why? Because it's freezing. Like, I don't know. That part I was like, nah, that pool's probably like 58 degrees right now, and you guys swimming, living your best life. No, no, no.
yeah, okay, that's fair. But okay, let's just say, I mean, for argument's sake, let's just say it was heated, I guess. But still,
No.
that you wanna go swimming in it?
Yeah.
Alright.
No. I will say, for my rating though, because I saw it in theater, I based it off the audience around me. So I will
Ooh,
say we had a semi full theater for this movie, which I was kind of surprised by. Probably had 20 to 25 people with us. I didn't see a single person pull out their phone. I hardly heard anyone talk to themselves. And it was a younger crowd. Like, everyone was probably 18 to 24. So usually those are loud kids in a horror movie. Everyone
yep,
seemed very enthralled in what was going on.
that's fair.
So that definitely gave it an extra point where I was like, okay, maybe I'm not completely enthralled with it, but the general audience is absolutely loving it. And with a generation that lives on their phones, I haven't seen a single phone. So they found
That
some type of formula.
that's big. That's big. That's big. Shit. Alright, man. With that said, though, what would be matter of fact, no, I'm gonna do this the right way.
It looks all dark and spooky. I love this. So my rating is going to be a 6 for this movie. And I expect
Hey,
it to be about a 4, so 6 is still better than expected.
I like that. I'm gonna pull you up again for the whole the
Mhm.
important question, but you know what that one is. But
Sure,
before I
sure.
get into that, let me think about this one right here. I'm gonna give this one because I did have just with the story. I had a good time overall. I always have a good time going to the theater though. I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5. I almost gave it a 4, but I'll give it a 5. It kept me entertained overall, I'll say, for the most part.
Mhm.
I mean, yes, you could say the story stuff is nitpicky, but that's I think what would have made it from a possible, like a fun film, okay film to a good film to something I'll be talking about in 6 months.
Right.
Now, before we ask the whole, overall
Yeah.
question, pull the spoilers thing down. Do you? Oh shit. Do you? Not do you? Would you watch this in theaters again? Would you watch this in theaters again?
I would probably rather watch it via at home. So I'd rather stream it the second time.
Okay, fair, fair. And I'm just gonna dive into it now.
Yep.
Should it have been released on the streaming platform, or was it worth a theatrical release?
So I think unless you're into cinematography, and I'm lightly in there, I'm not saying I'm professional at all, but I did love the camera angles for Inside the Pool, how they did Inside and Out. You know, they did a bunch of cool angles that I hadn't really seen and cool tricks that I'm unaware of. So I did enjoy it, that aspect of theater. But because there was only one baby jump scare purposely in that whole movie, I'd say you're not losing anything by watching it at home. So I would say I think it would have done better, and I'd prefer someone to watch it via stream at home than to pay to go see it in theater.
And I'm with you 1,000% on that. I feel this film right here would have done. I think I would have had a better time watching this at home, honestly.
Mm,
You know, smoking a little weed, maybe just kicking back and just chilling, watching it. Now, again, I love the theatrical experience because I love going to the movies with the wife and just watching horror movies in general. So there's that, but this is one of those ones that I do feel would have been better, and I feel more people would have watched it. I don't feel like this isn't one of those ones that would bring people out in droves. And I remember my question I was originally going to ask you: do you think? So we're both saying better on streaming for this one, but
yes.
do you think this movie may have done a little better if it was released in the summer, just because of the whole pool aspect?
As far as general audience, I'd say absolutely. Because people like seeing what they're going through during the seasons. That's why Christmas time we got all those Christmas family movies, rom com, shit like that. You know, and I'm
Hmm.
guilty too, to an extent. You got your summer movies, so I do feel with seeing how Lady in the Water did, and I enjoyed that movie, but it was trash. But I saw that during the summer, and that's
Okay.
always my kind of go to summer movie. If I'm like nothing to watch, I watch Lady in the Water. If this had been released July, I'd be like, hey man, let's watch Night Swim. Why?
Okay.
Because you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I asked that question too because I think of, like, holiday horror movies. There's some Christmas ones that I'm like, "Damn, I kinda wanna watch it," but then I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna have to wait till next holiday season because 'cause I'm not gonna get the same feel of it.
Yep.
I'm already too far gone from it." I mean, I guess you can kinda throw it in, but I'm already on something new.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like early January, maybe, like, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. It's like maybe-ish or a day or 2 after that, maybe, depending on what I'm doing. But now I feel like I'm too far gone from it, so it's like, I'll just wait. I'll
Right.
just wait.
Mhm.
And I still feel like if I'm this may have done a little bit better in the summer, but I still feel like even stream wise, this may have been a good streaming
100%.
summer drop. And worth a watch. But I'll say if you're not someone who really enjoys going to the movies, like if you're someone who, if you're like a casual moviegoer, don't go to see yeah, I wouldn't go watch this if you're not a casual moviegoer. If you're not if you are a casual moviegoer, sorry. Now, if you're someone who's like, I just want to go see anything, everything, of course, go
Right.
see it. And same if you're just like that, but with just specific genres like horror, I would say again, go see it because it's still a fun watch. I enjoy watching it. I love going, like I said, I love going to the movies. Love going to the movies with the wife. So, and I know that kind of real quick. I know that kind of almost sounds like sturdy. You're saying this, but you're saying it's not worth a theatrical release. It's not. It's really
Right.
'cause I
It's
love
not.
going to the movies, but,
Mhm.
like, this would have been better off streaming, and I feel
Right.
I feel I'll say this, I'm gonna make a prediction, and this isn't even a tough one for me. When it comes to the end of the year, like, when I do my end of the year list,
Yeah.
which I'll be switching it up a little bit now because I'm, tying in some things to make things a little easier, I
Right.
don't think this one will be discussed at the end of the year. Not
No.
from me, at least. I
No.
don't think this will be discussed, and the reason why I'm saying that, 1, it's a Blumhouse movie, right? Not because of that, but it's the first movie of the year. What happened last year? Megan, Blumhouse. Guess what?
Yeah.
It made my list.
Right.
It was discussed at the end of the year. I believe it did it make your list?
Yes.
Any of your lists? So
I think it did. Yeah.
and that's just why I'm throwing that out there. Like, so it's not
Right.
impossible. It's not gonna be forgotten, people. Like,
Mm.
is not gonna be this will be forgotten. This won't be
Right.
discussed later in the year. And I know that happens with film. It kinda sucks in a sense, but I understand that happens.
Mhm.
But
Right.
let's see what happens, let's see what movie we discuss next. I
Right.
can't wait. This was a great time. Make sure you guys tune into this more. We're gonna be doing this more often. And again, like I said, I'll be on as much as I can for the horror stuff whenever I can and whenever Paul or Mick can. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this. We're gonna have some freaking fun with this. And like I said, if I do horror or non-horror, it'll be over on the Popcorn and Pints. I'll be representing that. You guys know how I do. Oh, this was fun though, Paul. This was fun though, man. It feels good to discuss like a movie that was released in theaters this year. I
Right.
haven't done this in a long time. And I mean, we had the last year. We don't even have to bring it back up. Not even
Right.
gonna bring it back up with what's going on with last year. So now it feels good to do this. It feels cool to do this. And I mean, that's our first review of the year as far as theatrical goes, people. I
Sir.
hope you had a very good time. Make sure you guys go check out the Scene Snobs everywhere. They have some amazing, beautiful content. Come check out Horror Research 30. Awesome content. Other than that, I'll see you in your nightmares. Peace.